Towards the end of the 80s, Sam Labuddy, a marine biologist of the US environmental NGO, Earth Island Institute, filmed the dolphins killing caused by the tuna purse seine fleet in the eastern tropical Pacific. This fishing method had killed approximately 7 million dolphins in 30 years, decimating the local populations. A few days later, the footage was aired by several North American TV stations. Immediately, the three main US tuna companies, Starkist, Bumblebee and Chicken of the Sea, formally engaged at not handling tuna fished by setting nets on dolphins. The sustainable seafood movement had started.
I've been working over 20 years for the Dolphin-Safe monitoring program of the Earth Island Institute as a European director, making companies aware of the dolphin mortality issue and coordinating the monitoring activity. The success of the Dolphin-Safe project convinced me that a similar project tackling all different potential impacts of the fishing activity and the aquaculture production could achieve even bigger results.
Friend of the Sea is an NGO whose mission is the conservation of the marine habitat by means of certification and promotion of products from sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. It is the only program which can potentially certify with the same seal of approval both farmed and wild-caught products. Friend of the Sea is currently the main sustainable seafood certification scheme, having assessed over 10 million metric tons of wild-caught products and 500,000 metric tons of farmed seafood. Over 100 companies in the world, from all continents, producing over 60 different aquatic species, have relied on Friend of the Sea certification.
Our retail chain network is composed of 33 points, and it covers 11% of the total Swiss market. Our sustainable fishing policy leads us to select seafood depending on the lower impact of its fishing method. We have chosen Friend of the Sea as it has proved since the very beginning to be a professional and reliable partner. Friend of the Sea's strict but simple sustainability criteria have played an important role in keeping the audit verifiable and affordable. Generale Conserve owns the brand as Demar, second brand in the market. Our social accountability certified factory processes only tuna to size 20 kilograms or more. Therefore, tuna which is already reproduced. If all companies followed the same policy, this would represent a great contribution to the sustainability of the stock. Friend of the Sea shares our own environmental vision, and it has a background made of tangible conservation results. We like its pragmatic and constructive approach.
We are proud that over 50% of Friend of the Sea certified products originate from artisanal and traditional fisheries or small-scale producers. In line with FAO recommendations, Friend of the Sea has become a tool to promote artisanal fisheries from developing countries and elsewhere.
The fishing and farming methods are assessed by on-site inspections run by independent auditors of the international certification bodies. Only those products which originate from a fishing or aquaculture activity conforming to Friend of the Sea sustainability criteria are certified. Friend of the Sea follows the FAO guidelines for eco-labeling products from marine fisheries. In particular, Friend of the Sea criteria incorporates Art 30 of the FAO guidelines and requires that the target stock be not overexploited, according to the official fishery bodies. This approach makes the certification verifiable and more affordable also for small-scale producers. Friend of the Sea aquaculture criteria have been declared as equivalent to bio by the competent authorities in the European Union. This shows they are based on strong and valid requirements.
The Scottish Shellfish Marketing Group was set up in 1992 by a number of mussel and oyster growers around Scotland to try and market their products more effectively in the broader marketplace. The company has grown considerably over that time and is now the #1 retailer of Scottish shellfish in the UK, servicing predominantly UK retail markets but increasingly growing our business in food service and in export. We chose to seek the Friend of the Sea accreditation to really highlight and independently certify the very sustainable nature of our activities, of our mussel growing and oyster growing activities. We consider the practices of, particularly with our rope-grown mussels, to be very sustainable and to have a very low impact on the environment. There are some scientists would indeed say that growing mussel cultivation has a positive impact on the sort of local environment and ecosystem. So really we think our process is very benign environmentally, and we chose to try to highlight that for our consumers.
Friend of the Sea is the only international certification scheme which has developed a continuous on-site chain of custody monitoring network.
Our mission is to make all companies aware of the potential environmental impacts of fisheries and aquaculture production. Friend of the Sea feels ethically responsible towards consumers who rely and trust on its eco-label. That is why we deployed an international monitoring program with local monitors verifying continuously on site the actual origin of the products and that no mixing occurs.
Certification and labelling provides a clear message to consumers about the sustainability of products' origin. Ethical value is added to the product, and it is an important factor in consumer choice at the point of sale.
There is a strong drive in the industry towards more sustainable practices. This is not a momentary trend or fashion, this is here to stay. The industry has become aware of the fact that in order to provide continuity to its own business, the source of the business has to be preserved by means of an environmental selection of its own suppliers. In turn, the fleets and fisheries will have to implement credible and verifiable sustainable fishing policies.
The sustainability and provenance of seafood and most food types is becoming more important with all our consumers and customers. In the UK market, there is a drive towards seafood becoming certified as sustainable, and we wanted to demonstrate that our products match that criteria.
Customers' feedback has been very positive so far, and our clients appreciate and have a clear understanding of these sustainability requirements. They appreciate our initiative. Today, by means of a selective purchase policy and intensive Friend of the Sea audit activity worldwide, 50% of our products are certified sustainable, and the number is gradually increasing. To date, 50% of our products have obtained and carry the Friend of the Sea certification logo. Our objective is to be able to supply 100% fresh seafood certified Friend of the Sea from sustainable fisheries.
The natural complexity of the aquatic ecosystems has made it difficult for stakeholders to agree on a definition of sustainable fisheries. It is, however, possible and necessary to differentiate between high-impact destructive fisheries and those fisheries which are well-managed, selective, and environmentally friendly. Friend of the Sea promotes these fisheries and asks buyers and consumers to make the same sustainable choice.
Friend of the Sea, from certified sustainable aquaculture and fisheries.